So we are switching from Norway. We are going to Denmark, and it's my pleasure to introduce Peter Bose and Katrine Vogelsang to the stage. And I would say, please, you can do your presentation. I will join you later for some questions first.
Thank you. Thank you so much for welcoming us here at the Filmakademie. I'm very pleased to also welcome my dear colleague from TV2 Denmark, Katrine Vogelsang. I'm very happy to have her on my side because that will make our little talk more interesting, I think. We're going to have a little battle here. But first of all, I need to just fix the techniques here, so bear with me for a second.
Trying to. There it was. I'll introduce myself meanwhile. I'm the broadcaster, therefore Peter's very happy that I'm along because I'm paying for part of the production, not myself, but the company. I started as a film school student and I went to DR, who is the ZDF in Denmark, but with a younger profile, I have to admit, with an average of, I think it's 51 and not 60. Is that ZDF? Yeah. And when I went out of film school 10 years ago and was an in-house producer, and the rest of the film school was laughing at me because I didn't want to make feature films, I want to make television. And then 4 years after, it swapped around. They came to me saying, hey, is there any other producer job at DR? Because it's quite cool what you're doing. And I could definitely say no. It's not in need of anybody else than me here, so you better get off. But then TV2 called, who is the big competitor to DR, and DR did only do in-house production. You'll see it in a minute. And I thought we were in lack of an industry doing television in Denmark. So therefore, I joined TV2, who only do production with independent producers, no in-house production. So in a way, I'm on my 4th year trying to build an industry of television in Denmark outside of DR. And Peter is a great part of it. And very cheap in production. No, he's not. But you'll get back to that in a minute. I'll get you now, the introduction is there, Peter, so you'll continue.
Thank you. Now, just a short word about Miso Film. I co-founded the company 11 years ago together with my colleague, Jonas Allen. And now it doesn't work, sorry. Oh yeah, with my colleague Jonas Allen, and we previously, before co-founding Miso Film, we held positions at various companies such as Nordisk Film, Yellowbird, and Per Holst Film. When we started out the company, we had a strong focus on television series. I used to executive produce the Beck series in Sweden and Wallander. So I was brought up with television, so to speak, so it was obvious for us that there was a market that wasn't that developed, at least not in Denmark and in Norway. So we started producing a TV series, and over the years, and we became quite successful. We had a good spot there. Today, we have a lot of competitors running our way, and the world has become a little bit more difficult because everybody wants to do television. Just a little bit about Miso. We are 20 permanent staff members, of which 7 are producers. We have a strong focus on high-end television series, but we also produce feature films, and the reason why we still stick to feature films is that we share talent between television and feature films. It's not that we have an industry where you only produce television series and you only produce feature films. Most of the companies in Scandinavia, they produce both. And we think that there is a lot of good things in this because we sometimes end up with good ideas and strange and strong ideas from creators who are raised from the film school to be a little bit crazy. I mean, you've been there, Katrine, you know how the directors demand, and also the writers, of course. We primarily produce in the Scandinavian language, and Miso Film has an output of 1 to 2 high-end series a year, plus 1 to 2 feature films a year. And our annual production volume amounts to approximately 20 million euros. We have a very strong cooperation with the major Danish broadcasters, and TV2 Denmark is probably our biggest partner. We've done a lot of our shows together with you, Katrine, and we have over the years built up a good relationship, I would say. We have also had a lot of fights, and we'll get back to that in a minute. And I forgot to mention that we also have offices in Copenhagen, Oslo, and Stockholm, and we produce in all 3 countries. We will do a little case study on a series called Dicte. Dicte is a crime series with a female crime reporter called Dicte. It hasn't aired in Germany yet, which is a little bit sad because we think it's a good show. But the background for Dicte was we produced a show called Dose to Kill, also with TV2. That was a very tough and very strong and scary serial killer show, which TV2 aired Sunday at 8. And you can imagine, with a lot of blood and a lot of killing, and with a lot of families who thought that now they should, sit down and watch nice primetime television, they got a little bit shocked. And I think the press got even worse. I mean, they really hang us out or hang TV2 out for doing a series and airing it at 8 o'clock in the evening. Maybe you can add a little bit to that.
Yeah, because I started when it had just been aired. I started in the summer, and I had my first meeting with the CCO, and he was kind of like, "You have one more try to do drama at TV2, otherwise we'll shut it down because we're obviously very bad at it." And I was coming from DR, where it was kind of, you should have a rating 20 or a share 60, otherwise you're not a success. So I was kind of like, yeah, okay, we'll find out. And it was okay in the beginning, but later on, when the Dicte was the first one I had to greenlight, then all this fear of only have one show left came back. So just to explain how, when Dicte started up, there was not a kind of feel of being good at doing television drama at TV2. It was something that only DR could do, and it gave a lot of concerns on all levels.
No, what we thought, being on the backseat, just having had this quite a big success with Dose to Kill. It did have really good ratings, but the ratings fell, and as I said, the press was tough. So we thought, now we should look at a show where you can basically sit down and watch it with the entire family. Of course, not the smallest kids, but from 12, 13 years and up. And we also want to have a show that reflected our society a little bit more. And Dicte was a very good match, because some years before, TV2 had a great success with a police series called An Appeal, which was more light. And our pitch with Dicte was Sex in the City meets crime. And it wasn't Sex in the City in a way of fancy clothes, but in a way of friendship between Dicte and her colleagues and her friends. So we want to create a show where there was a kind of